We don't do that. Yes. No, he is not. I got Grant all set up. Unless you want to do it, Grant was going to do it, but if you want to, you're more than welcome. Smile. Let's call this meeting to order. Will you please stand for the pledge of allegiance? Andy, would you like to lead us? United States. And it's free body. One nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Aaron?
Let's pray. Heavenly Father, I just open this meeting thanking you for the men that are around the table in the back that have been qualified for 50 years or more on Submarine. So thank you for their lives. I thank you for their dedication to the country. And that we've been blessed to have them here and get to know them. Also, thank you that the scout's able to host the crew through the crew from the USS Colorado. And we just asked a special blessing on them, give them a good time, safe time, and put them back to their stations wherever they go safely. We just ask that you be with us as we conduct our meeting tonight, help us get done the things that we need to get done, and also have a really good time. We ask these things in your name. Amen.
USSVI Creed. To perpetuate the memory of our shipmates who gave their lives in pursuit of their duties while serving their country. That their dedication, deeds, and supreme sacrifice be a constant source of motivation towards greater accomplishments. We pledge loyalty and patriotism to the United States of America and its Constitution. Please remain standing for the tolling of the votes for September. USS S-51, SS-162, lost on 25 September 1925 when it sunk after a collision with the SS City of Rome off Block Island, Rhode Island. 33 men lost. USS Grayling, SS-209, lost on 9 September 1943 when it was sunk in or near Tabala Straits, the Republic of the Philippines, to unknown causes. 76 men lost. U.S. Pompano, SS-181, lost 17 September 1943, probably by a Japanese air and sea attack off the Philippines. 77 men lost. USS Cisco, SS-290, lost on 28 September 1943 during a Japanese air and surface attack on Sulu Sea. 76 men lost. In keeping with the USS Creed, let us remain in a mood of reverence and respect while we take a moment to remember those submariners who received their final orders and now are serving on internal patrol. This is the Rocky Mountain Base Internal Patrol list for September. Ernest Miner, 9/19/2011. Jack J. Evans, 9/27/2012. Robert E. Leaney, 9/2/2015. Kurt Albert Mess, 9/24/2016. Charles E. Ryan, 9/17/2020. And Val Unrein, 9/18/2021. A moment of silence. Be seated. Holland Club, post. Submarine is submerged, submarine provides a quiet and somewhat tranquil setting, free from many of the distractions present in everyday surface world. So in keeping with that, let's take it down to our regular meeting. Clear the bridge. Take it down. High. High. Okay. We have a lot of new people here, people that haven't been here before. So let's do our introductions on roll call. State your name, the boat you qualified on. And I think we'll start with Robert. That guy. My qual is FCR Marshall, was 15,611 million in November 1971. And I had the extreme pleasure of being here with my wife, 6 years. And this, my amazing sister, little sister, Patty. Patty and I, through various means, lost touch with each other for 45 years. Oh. And a month and a half, 2 months ago, we put old things aside and buried the hatchet and recovered. Okay. Chris. Chris Grace is a qualified USS Daniel Boone Gold, 1989. Go through. Commissioned the in Indiana, landowner. And I'm here with my wife, Ellen, which is also a retired reservist. Yeah. Larry. That qualified USS Narwhal, September of 1984. Also in the truck. Your duty spook. Take spectrum. Off the other circle multiple times. Yeah. Yes. Yes. The first wall was designed in 1954. She was 214 out of Holy Lock County. Second call vote was 1966 on the U.S. base. There had been 607 out of Groton, Connecticut, and to Mr. Allen, concept of their fees, Squadron 10. Thank you. There you go. I'm Michael Lewis. I qualified board. John P. Calhoun.
And John qualified USS Amberjack as says 522. Colorado.
Bill Anderson, I qualified on USS Sailfish, CA4, also served on USS Fang, and with me with my wife, Kay, of 63 years.
I'm Harry Newton. I qualified on the USS Scope and SSN 590 in 1974. Again.
Andy Meverton, Associate Member, Deputy Chaplain, Commissioning Chaplain of the USS Colorado on Pier 6, March 17, 2018, and I live in Colorado.
Rich Condo qualified on the William H. Bates EDIB officer 91.
Jeff Mokel, EP, Navigation Supervisor. First ship was the USS Holland AS-32 out of Holy Loch, Scotland. My qual boat was the USS George C. Marshall SSBN 654 Gold, also out of Holy Loch. And requalled USS Daniel Webster SSBN 626 Blue in Holy Loch.
All right. Robert Justin qualified USS Indianapolis, January 91. Decommissioned the USS Tecumseh and the DSV-3 Turtle.
We don't make blind to them wives and girlfriends, they're not false.
Thank you.
And pretty hard, used to be a regular. And qualified the Corporal SS 346, no color attached to that.
Great. Well, thank you all the diesel boat thing you left, right?
You know, good couple.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about
That's a
that.
diesel boat sailor.
Oh, yeah, and the other bill. Okay. Patrick. Yeah.
Patrick Ralph qualified on Lewis and Clark SSBN 644 July 1978. My wife Eileen, and on 22nd would be married 43 years.
Richard Vaughn. I'm an old diesel boat sailor, qualified on the USS Piper SS 409 in 1964. Jim Connie qualified with the Summer Boulevard for PN 641 gold November 1983.
Cal.
Cal Holland qualified on the USS Woodrow Wilson 624B. And I'm the duty doc. I can't do any more vasectomies because the night guards aren't being more.
Bill.
Bill Allen, and I qualified on your training in Florida in 1962.
Dick Life qualified on Chopper in the fall of some year. That was my first boat. And then I volunteered to go to Vietnam. And then I served on the Perch. And we were home ported in the Philippines. And we were using UDT guys. We always were submerged. UDT guys to go ashore for reconnaissance. And one time we were told that we needed to go in daylight because there were about 90 South Vietnamese people on the beach who needed to be rescued. 75 South Vietnamese Army guys, 12 civilian, and 2 North Vietnamese POWs. During the night, we had to use we were the only submarine left with duck gun, 240 millimeter, one forward, one safe, one aft, and we used it that night to disturb the Viet Cong and keep them from attacking those 90 people we were protecting on the beach. And it turns out that after World War II and the first Gulf War, we were the only submarine to take an enemy under fire, pull out refugees, and take prisoners.
JP.
David Mackin, qualified USS Japan, SSN 674 in May of 1972. Also served on USS Henry Clay Gold, USS Cincinnati 693 as XO, and CO USS Lake 661. And I'm here with my lovely bride of 53 years, Swan.
Hi, I'm Jay Moore. I'm going to be the new member. Qualified senior officer on USS Pasadena. On the board was the skipper here. He was the navigator on my boat at the time, and it was April Fool's Day, 2013. So qualified.
I'm Gary Francis, qualified on the Skipjack, SSN 585, 72. Also served as engineer on Tecumseh, XO on Flying Fish, and CO of Baton Rouge.
Andy, would you like to?
Candy Barn, the base storekeeper. I have one Bill, is still under the weather, 28 got here. He qualified on the USSVI strong as a chances 31 and he can provide these numbers. So nice, you can ready for the man. Oh, that's good.
My name is Grant Day. I'm qualified on the USS Benjamin Franklin, SSBN 640 in September of 1969. I was the eyes and ears of the ship as we plowed through the water blind. And I'm the base treasurer and membership chairman.
Dan Ballard, I qualified on the USS Henry L. Simpson in 1989. FTB, so I was always down in the lower level MCC, and glad to have all the Colorado here. So.
Yes.
Myra, I was an Air Force nurse, Vietnam era, but I'm here because I love submarines and I just like being here.
And I'm Paul Lees, the Beta Commander. My first call boat was the USS William H. Bates in August of 1974. And my second boat was the USS La Jolla, new construction, so I was a plank owner. My third boat was the USS Tennessee, also plank owner, new construction on that boat. And I'm here with my lovely wife, which I always forget to talk about. Raise your hand. Julie, Lincoln Bryce, 21. Okay, so we're getting ready to do our guest speaker. As everybody understands, we got the CEO and some crew members from Colorado. I just wanted to point out that next month we have Jake Life doing a talk on Vietnam War through a periscope. We got a little bit of that already, so Captain B, if you'd like to come on up here and we'll I have a quick Oh yeah.
Hey, good evening, everybody. I'm Commander David Beam, the commanding officer of USS Colorado. So we'll go through here. I'm going to just kind of take you through some of the things that Colorado's been doing. And then at any point, please stop me and ask questions. I've been told I went a little too fast the last time, and
Sorry.
nope, it's a good. Yeah, I can. Yeah, I'm getting there. I got it. But it's good. It's a good segue. I hate him to do that. So before I get to the crew, this is a picture just taken this April of USS Colorado at the North Pole. And we proudly flew our Colorado flag after we surfaced through the ice and spent about 12 to 14 hours playing hooky from work.
So how were you able to get so close to that pole?
So it's at the magnetic north, and we know where that is using our RGN system, so we're pretty good. Yeah, it was. We didn't put it there. So with me today, I have a few of my crew members. I have my Sailor of the Year, that's our Ian Rajaga. He's a Mr. Rajaga is an A-ganger. I have my Junior Sailor of the Year, CS2 Adams. So he's one of our lead cooks. I also have here Chief Benson. He's my assistant navigator, and Chief Earhart. There he is. He's my electronic warfare and cyber chief. So it's probably something a little bit. I don't know if they had that on the Vietnam submarine. And this is a picture of Colorado submerged underway. So where have we been? We did a namesake visit a couple of years ago. So since then, Colorado has done a few things. The yellow in the middle, we did some training for deployment. We did a lot of things down there with pretending to do all the mission sets that we need to go do on deployment and getting certified to do that. We deployed from Groton and in the Yukon AOR, so that's European Command, across the Atlantic Ocean up here. Made a couple of port visits and also did a few things I'll talk about later. And then, as you see, the North Pole transit to Hawaii. We'll talk about what we're doing there too. So if I'm going fast here, there's going to be more detail, I promise. All right, so this is sort of the laydown of the submarine force right now. So I wanted to kind of give you some statistics and data on the classes of submarines that we're now operating. That there's a few classes of SSNs out there, which I've been exclusively fortunate to only serve on SSNs. And then, so the Virginia class is sort of out, is replacing the LA class of submarine. As we keep constructing new Virginias every year, and we don't want to refuel any boats anymore, so that's kind of why we're doing that. We have our SSBNs and four SSGNs, which are also now going to be replaced by the District of Columbia class, which there's one in construction right now. The future District of Columbia. Now I'll pause here if there's any questions about some of the differences in technology. If we want, but I know I don't want to insult anyone's intelligence. We're all learning dolphins in here.
So why are there so few Seawolves? Are they just getting decommissioned?
No, the Seawolf class was supposed to be a replacement for the Los Angeles class. They're probably the most advanced submarine we've ever built, but they were extremely expensive because they have 8 torpedo tubes where everybody else has 4. They can carry massive amounts of weapons on board, and they're kind of just a little bit too much for the mission set we were evolving to. This was a Cold War era design to go out and kill fleets, and we realized the fall of the Soviet Union didn't require that. So we redesigned, and the Virginia class is sort of the economy model. Yes?
Why are the Seawolf and the Virginia classes red?
So it's actually not true. They don't look like that. But so a long time, it actually should be the Los Angeles class. A long time ago, they would paint the underside of the hull with this impregnated paint that could kill sea life or well, not sea life. They would kill anything growing on it, like barnacles or any kind of like things that keep the sensors out under there from because typically at the water line on the surface, we could clean that underneath, that we would be able to as well, so that's why. But we have better technology now, we don't need to do that. All right, I'll move on. As you know, Colorado is a Virginia-class submarine. This is some of our statistics up here. This is an actual picture of Colorado. That's not just a stock photo of a few hundred away from Groton, Connecticut. I think on sea trials, JJ told me today, typically when electric boat puts a boat on sea trials, they'll have a helicopter fly around and get some of these glamour shots before they go actually get dirty and do one. So the crew complement there of officer and enlisted changes. It fluctuates based on mission set. We'll bring on some specialists and do some extra things for mission. So I think we deployed with ANAV, our chief, correct me, I think about 140 something with all the extra guys. Is that right? Say again? 157. Thanks. Yeah, the Cooper knows he's got a big yeah, and one of the big differences with the Virginia class, again, if I'm insulting you, it's probably worth us hearing it again. No, so we don't, our vertical launch tubes are slightly different. We can shoot Tomahawk cruise missiles, but we have what's called the Virginia payload tube. So it's actually two giant hatches on the bow of the ship. And inside, each one of those has 6 missile canisters. So it kind of works like a revolver. We'll shoot a missile, the canister will spin to the firing position and shoot again. And each of the tubes are can be individually fired, but the hatch will open as one unit and expose all the missiles when we want to shoot. So it's kind of a big difference where normally in the past it would be an individual tube per weapon. Submerged. Yes, we will shoot. We will shoot submerged. However, we do not like to go below a certain depth with these hatches open because they're very tough to shut. Yeah, you all know here that's the stock speed and depth, and I'm not going to talk about it. Okay. So this is sort of the mission sets that are available to the submarine today. I kind of like to show this because it's a broad spectrum, and it kind of just shows everybody the value of the stealth platform. You're not going to have this many circles up here. If I was talking about a DDG or even an aircraft carrier, they have like one mission. But the submarine does this, and what Colorado, the only one it doesn't do, is the strategic deterrence. That's left with our SSBN friends. So obviously the ASW, the anti-submarine warfare, and that's what we're primarily trained to do. That's sort of our bread and butter. And that's sort of what we do while we're on deployment for the most part, and a little bit of ISR, the surveillance and reconnaissance. It's sort of our peacetime mission. Yes.
So the submarine launched mines, I know those were decommissioned maybe 15 years ago.
Right.
Are there a new version of slim mines?
So they're coming back. There's design and production that is being started. So we're now starting to entertain being able to have that capability again. Yes.
What about the counter drug ops? What does that involve?
Normally it's us who will, because we can do things so covertly, we will watch any suspect. We work with the Coast Guard primarily with that, and we can give queuing to the Coast Guard, and then they will vector in if there's some type of, maybe somebody coming from Cuba. A lot of the San Diego boats do it because of the Mexican water, and Mexican waters there. So it's kind of like it's a little tough though because we have to have special transponders like periscope if we because the Coast Guard likes to hang out with all their lights off and try to catch these guys in the act. And if their radars detect our periscope, they will blast us with all the lights and drive straight at us. And somebody here talked about an emergency deep earlier, I think, and that happens a lot in those California levels. So when we see that, we typically have sort of like a covert, kind of ping we can send out to them and say, hey, no, same team, and they'll turn away. Yeah, that's right. Okay, so I think some of your life has been a little different than what you probably remember. So at CE, we still do the 3-section rotation. We've recently shifted to 8-hour watches. They did some studies to say it's better for people to sleep at the same time every day. They're realizing that with all those mission sets I just showed you, people making tactical decisions is probably not good for them to be sleep deprived and circadian rhythms being all messed up. So now we do 8-hour watches, and at any point in time at sea, there's obviously, as you know, somebody is on watch. The off-going section is usually doing planning or maintenance, and then the oncoming sections. Inboard is a little different. Go ahead.
Can't you please get to sleep at the same time as everybody else?
Yes. We're a little nicer now. Promise.
Question?
Yeah.
Isn't 8 hours a long time between meals?
It is. We have this little thing in Colorado called halftime snack time. So halfway through the 8 hours of watch, the supporting section will come in for like a quick 20 or 30-minute break, or depending if you're real, it'll take longer. No, so they'll come in and give the team like a head break, go refresh your coffee, and Pastor Adams's band of merry men in the galley will usually put out some kind of snack for the crew. Usually it's leftovers, but they'll usually jazz it up with something, or we'll mix some things together. We don't do mid-reps anymore. I'm sure you guys remember what that was. Those are mid-reps have gone away. Now we just do breakfast, lunch, and dinner with the half times. And what we do to keep the crew from going crazy, instead of shifting the wash sections around periodically, we shift the meals. So after a certain amount of time, a month or two, will go by, and we'll change and we'll rotate. Breakfast will now be in the middle of the day, and lunch will be at midnight, and dinner will be in the morning. So the only people who are really effective, like the guys like me, who I have a set time I wake up and go to bed every day. So sometimes it's weird to wake up immediately and eat pizza. I guess like I'm in college again. Yeah.
The submarine I was on, reached the coon that I doing, he was patient, injured, but he would bake bread, and then there wasn't room to store it in any of the shelving, so we had to go throughout the boat and put the bread in there. Well, you got guys that are, they're sitting next to freshly baked bread, and
It won't last long.
had a short dinner, and you would go to get his bread, and they'd say, "Well, I don't do that." Okay. So he eating the cream, like together. So at the end, somebody, I don't know, went to him and said, "You have to make peace because they hated him and he hated them." So what they told him to do was make cinnamon bread and stuff it around the ship, and they could go eat it. And so when we pulled in and got the next crew on, he was the hero and the cook, Ellis, and they were all friends. But
I think what to get around that, I think Adam's telling me if I'm wrong. We usually just kind of make it a la carte. We'll make the bread as we need it for the meal. So we'll kind of, and when the loaves, I think we have a little bit more room, and we'll store those. But the cooks they do make everything though, so they're everyone's friend. I promise.
Well, you don't do this. But Daniel Webster, our cook made the best cinnamon rolls that you'd ever had, better than what your mom. People were putting in wake-up calls for the cinnamon rolls. Well, the crew was gaining too much weight, so the CO said nobody could have more than one cinnamon roll. So he started making them this big. So said no more cinnamon.
My policy is mostly that just there needs to be enough for at least everyone to get one, and then whatever's left, it's a free for all. But Adams is also our command fitness leader, so our cinnamon rolls are about that.
yeah,
But they do make bagels, they make all the hamburger buns, they do everything. It's fantastic. Yeah. We have one guy on the boat who's especially his cookies, and they're fantastic. And I always have to make sure that the crew's not going to get sick, so I'd sample head Yeah.
Where they did the rotation from our old 6 and 12 watch schedule.
Yeah.
On any boat, you've got certain evolutions or events that can occur on any cycle of the watch around the clock. How do they deal with one duty section now standing in an 8-hour watch? It never gets exposed to events and evolutions that may occur on other watch sections.
Right, like drills and stuff like that. Yeah, so we'll rotate sections through, and sometimes we have like an all hands awake period, and it's typically for training. So it's designated. The crew knows when it's going to happen. It's in the plan of the day. Somebody probably just still said I didn't know that was, I didn't tell me. But it's very well advertised, and we know we have to do that. Typically, we pick Saturday as like our engineering training day. And so all the nukes have to get up to go through their nuclear training. And they know that we give 3 sessions of the training so that there's no excuse for anybody to miss it. So that's kind of how we flex. The guys who stay up all during the day and sleep at night, the day walkers, we sort of flex for those training events to make sure we can deliver it properly to the crew. Yeah.
Do you have 3-session field day?
No, everybody gets up for that. That's Tom's favorite day. Yeah. But to incentivize it, we do we'll raffle stuff off at field day, so everyone can buy a raffle ticket, and at the end of field day, we'll announce, and it's guys get like sunglasses and multi-tool knives and stuff. Like we'll just it's kind of fun to be able to give the crew something while show their expertise. Yeah. So in port, I'll talk about in port a little bit. We do a 4-section rotation in port, and that's kind of new. Admiral Houston, when he was the commander of the submarine force, he's now Naval Reactors, really mandated that we try to make the in-port duty sections better. So if you're standing duty every 3 days, it's not very often you get a weekend off. And it's tough. Standing duty in port is tough, and that's the time you want to spend with your family. So he pushed us very hard. He relaxed a lot of qualifications. He kind of looked at everything holistically and said, why are we doing all this? And we've kind of changed the way we do things, and they really push hard to make it at least 4-section. It's about what Colorado is right now. And it is working out a lot better. I'm sure, you probably did this too, single the duty when you can. And I'm pretty liberal with singling the duty. It doesn't just have to be on a weekend. If it's a Tuesday night and there's no work going on, I'll let the 2 duty officers combine and one guy go home. Because I really want them the guys work their butts off at sea, so I want their import section to be, if you don't need to be here, then don't be here. We also don't have working hours in Colorado. I think everybody should be mature enough to know when they need to be at work and how long they need to be there. I shouldn't have to tell you, or else you're not professional. So, yeah.
What are the hours watches in port?
One stand port watch, so go ahead.
So the airport watches are 2 hours, and there's about 16 people with 3 watches that stand up forward. So everybody generally stands 4 to 6 hours of watch a day in a 24-hour period.
So it's back to half the same way?
Back after the watches are longer than 2 hours, but yes, and typically we'll secure the shutdown electro operator if there's no maintenance that requires him. Obviously, he's still on board, and if they need to be restationed, they can. But also that kind of frees that guy up to be able to do some other things. But yes, the 4-section back aft. I also have a pretty strict policy that I don't want there to be something that they do at forward that's not done out back aft, because that creates a huge wedge between the crew. If you notice all of our pictures for guys getting awards on Cruise Mess, we always have the Colorado flag as our backdrop, just to remind us our connection with you. So it is it's strict policy on Colorado. That flag is flying on the top side when we pull into port on surface. On the main deck top side, we have a little flagpole, and the Colorado flag is always there when we pull in. Yeah.
Around the world, how many countries now will permit nuclear-powered submarines or surface ships to come in for port calls?
For your nuclear powered specifically? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
Uh,
57 countries.
Right, so we have, for nuclear powered ports, we have over 150 ports available in over 50 countries worldwide. No other country in the world has that level of access. And that's because of the commitment that we have put into our program. 75 years of an unblemished record operating and maintaining nuclear power plants. Countries trust what we do. That's why Australia is asking us to help them stand up their program, because they trust what we do. Yeah. So recently we deployed to the Atlantic, as I said, and so Colorado deployed for about 200 days. And in that time, we conducted 4 foreign port visits. 3 times we went to Tromsø, Norway, and 1 time to Rota, Spain. We did several missions that were vital to national security. You all know what that means, so I'm just going to leave it there. And we did a lot of theater undersea warfare support. Maybe a new term for some people. It's just where we work collaboratively with the aircraft and the surface vessel, sometimes other NATO countries like French and British, in becoming like the bastion defense against adversarial submarine deployments. I'll tell you, in that time, like, it was a lot of fun being on deployment and some of the things we saw and did. And right there, the picture on the bottom right of the slide is Tromsø, Norway in July. It's midnight. So there's still sun up, like, where you're so far north. Lots of fun there. And then on the bottom left is a picture of us with a lot of leadership of the Spanish Navy. So the port visits we do are vitally important to our partnerships and allies, which give us that access that I was talking about. And they trust us being in their ports, and we like to show them everything that we can to be transparent and allow their trust. So after we came back from deployment, a little bit of time with our families, we got ready to do our Arctic transit. It was about a 6-week transit from Groton to Pearl Harbor, and 2,000 miles to go have a snow day. It was you really wanted to get that day off. But it was a fantastic time. We did 2 through the ice surfacings. We came up through Baffin Bay. If your geography is not that good, mine wasn't. I have to look it up. It's a body of water that's between Canada and Greenland, and through there are some of the biggest icebergs in the world. So we would find some icebergs with a sonar and go up and take pictures of them. And then we went through the Lincoln Sea, where there's the deepest ice in the world, the thickest ice, into the Arctic Basin proper, where it's completely permafrost and iced over 365 days a year. And we did surface exactly at the North Pole. Yes.
How thick of ice can you cluster?
Yeah, so the Virginia class is capable of breaking through 2 to 4 feet of ice. LA class is about 5 to 6, and the Seawolf class is a little bit more. And it's a pretty precise ship handling evolution, but it is a lot of fun. Yeah.
You still do blue nose ceremonies?
We sure do.
And did you see polar bears when you surfaced?
So Blue Nose absolutely still do it, and it's still one of the last bastions of having fun like that. The polywalk ceremonies are not as cool as the Blue Nose, and we did not see polar bears on this trip, but I did on my first trip to the North Pole in Connecticut. All right. And again, like I said, Colorado flag's always flying. So then we pulled into Pearl Harbor for a scheduled dry docking availability. This is built into the life cycle of the ship. All Virginia-class submarines will have a dry docking refit after every 3 deployments. So they're baked into the life of the ship, and the ship is designed to never have to refuel. So 30 years on the same reactor core. So we'll be there until about 2026. And then Colorado will come out and be modernized. The whole purpose of us doing this is to upgrade our combat system to like the newest hardware and software, and update some of our other systems on board, and kind of just clean the stuff that we couldn't clean with the boat in the water. Nothing's broken, nothing major. It's just all part of the life of the ship. And get back out there on the front lines. So some of the differences with our ship too, worth talking about here. As we pulled into Pearl Harbors, we have 2 types. We don't have periscopes that penetrate through the ship, so our control room is on the 2nd platform. So because of that, we can use the whole breadth of the ship to have a much larger control room, and it brings the team together in a more cohesive and communicating way. So without having the 2 big poles in the middle of the room, We control our periscopes with an Xbox controller, like a video playing video games. Colorado was the first ship to do that. And so somebody said, hey, let's just give the kids what they want and let them play video games all day with the periscope. So I actually have never manned the scope on the Colorado. Not 'cause I don't need to. It's all voice activated for me. I can just say, go there. And he'll turn the scope. I can put this periscope display on any screen in the control room, on multiple screens if I want to. So usually in my stateroom, I have a little TV that's mirrors a few essential tactical screens that I want to look at, and we're at periscope depth. The periscope is one of them. So if I hear some noise that I don't like what I'm hearing, I'll look up and call them and say, "Hey, what are you guys doing?" But yeah, so we use the Xbox controller, so they'll update. We have two versions. It's called a photonics mast. If you didn't know that, it's got some cameras and stuff in it. It's got some really good infrared capabilities. So you probably remember saying, chief watch, rig control for red, and then on your way up, rig control for black. We don't do that. The Virginia class owns the night. We never change the lighting on the ship ever because of the screens and our capabilities. We don't have to, and it's much better for the crew. You don't have to kick the guy nodding off in his chair. He doesn't have to get in trouble. But really, it's much more, the situational awareness is much better, which is why we were able to perform with such high success. And that's kind of the whole thing. Yeah, go ahead. Do you have a question?
Two questions,
Yeah.
Skipper. So you're saying in Colorado, because all the masts are external compressionable now, is that the first ship in the class that has control room on the second deck?
No, all the Virginias are designed that way. The Virginia-class submarine was designed specifically to have no penetrating mass. So the only thing that goes through is the communications cable for the electronics.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then my follow-up,
Yeah.
if you don't mind.
Sure.
I don't know if you can speak to this, but when you're in the Arctic, you have ice above and ice below.
Sure.
So how tight of a pucker factor?
Yeah, what's the needle we're threading?
Yeah, in terms of distance above,
Yeah.
distance below your.
So I like to explain this like imagine trying to run through the forest with your eyes closed and not hit a tree. So we do have a lot of specialized Arctic equipment to help us. A whole bunch of different sonars that have very specific purposes. So what we do is we know what the bottom looks like when we're going through some of the straits because it's very well charted and mapped, and it's very flat. So we actually will choose to be closer to the bottom than we will to the ice. And we have sonar systems that kind of tell us what the ice canopy looks like, and it gives a little A-scan readout on it. And it tells us how thick the ice is, how deep the ice keels are. So essentially what we do is I don't really want to go any closer than like 15 feet off the bottom. But so we mostly hung out about 20 to 18 feet off the bottom and just kind of threaded that for 6 days. The pucker factor you asked for, it was not a lot of sleep that happened by me. I was in the control room staring at like 2 screens for about 6 days. Yeah, it was rough.
You ever have to stack up?
Some boats have had to. Colorado did not. We can detect the ice keel with enough distance to be able to turn away from it. Yeah. Yeah.
Is your crew the same? You don't have a platoon goal crew, so to speak?
We own the ship 100% of the time.
When you return to port, you guys can kick loose on leave. I mean, is that traditional?
Yeah. I mean, guys can take leave. I mean, I'm perfectly happy with guys taking leave whenever they need to for whatever reason. I mean, I'll let guys miss underways for life events like weddings, birth of children if I can. I try to make a promise to my crew's spouses that nobody will miss the birth of a child. And I think we did that. Is that she? I think we did that, right? Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah. So I was committed. I think if the family see that I have that level of commitment, they have that level of commitment for me, they're going to be bought in on the mission and support their sailor better. And the sailors will perform much higher with that. Yeah. Go ahead.
So,
Just shout them out.
okay, I've been on commission.
Yeah.
And so I was on Colorado before commissioning and whatnot. So I'm with his third class up at torpedo room. And he'd been on the boat, I think like maybe around 3 months. And his first boat, he had his fish. How can in 3 months without going to sea, how can it be?
3 months. I don't know who you were talking to.
I was talking to the third class on, Everett Group.
Yeah, no, I mean, I wish I knew his name. Anyway.
Went to see.
Yeah.
Had not been to sea.
3 months.
Yeah, that's nobody has gotten their dolphin in 3 months since I've been in command. I guarantee you that. Yeah. Yeah, go ahead. Doc.
Is there a difference, significant, mild, moderate, even lower, in vulnerability when you're under the ice? You have ice below you, ice above you, and now say either hostile submarine or submarine are headed toward you. How does that, how much of a significant change in vulnerability to either you or them does that impart since you've got these two platforms above you and below you?
Yeah, so we're the only people who operate where we do in the Arctic. So the Arctic Ocean proper is very deep and it's very quiet. If there's any submarine out there, you know what LE is. It's LE is very low. So our sensors are extremely capable and we can see pretty far in the Arctic Ocean. But to be honest with you, so here's some perspective. When we went to the Arctic and through the Strait Transit, within 1 week of each other, 3 U.S. submarines had surfaced at the North Pole within a week of each other, which tells you like nobody else can do that. Nobody's going where we're going because it's just it's too hard. But we're Americans, not Americans, right? So I mean, I'm serious. Like, so I mean, we can operate with impunity, and because we just have the technology, but really, it's the people who make it happen. Yeah, JJ.
So, Virginia now is like 20 years old that we're fishing.
Yes.
So, are there any class issues, material-wise, with the Virginia class that are emerging after this period of time?
I think the biggest struggle we're seeing right now is just availability of repair parts. The Los Angeles class was built, after everything that happened on World War II and coming through the Cold War, and we knew, hey, we're going to build lots and lots and lots of stuff to replenish these ships. So there's lots of availability, and now because that's very expensive to maintain, the Virginia class was built with lots of technology, and it's a sort of as-needed basis when things break. So it becomes hard for us to get parts. So there's a lot of like cannibalization of, hey, you're like right now, Colorado is a parts boat for the rest of the Virginia class fleet. Yeah.
What is the propulsion system compared to the old propeller-driven submarine?
Oh, the propulsor, it's head and shoulders better. It is so quiet. We can go flank speed and we still cannot be heard by a Los Angeles class submarine. We do exercises with other ships, and if we go unaugmented, they cannot find us. And that's getting extremely close to us. They still cannot see us. The propulsor is just a design way better than anything I could have possibly thought of.
Do the Russians have propulsion?
Not that I know of. Yeah. Sorry, I think you've had your hand up quite a bit. Go ahead.
Yeah, my air basically the 593, 594 class FFM.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly, they were like 277 feet.
Mm-hmm.
Our composite was like 85. You think you're tall, so you're 100 feet longer.
Yes.
And you're almost triple. If I heard that 150 some odd count that you gave, it's a lot of people.
It is.
You keep football in there, so you have extra sanitary tanks and storage for food or what?
So we
Send that 100 feet.
Yeah, so, well, the propulsion plant it's a much more powerful propulsion plant. We can go much faster than some of the older boats. There's a lot of horsepower behind that shaft. So that's kind of what's in that. And we have a lot more electronics. So there's a big portion of the ship that have been dedicated to servers for all of our networks. So that's probably something very different. And then where do we put all the people? Well, we have hot racks. We're still doing that. And people are still sleeping in the torpedo room. But yeah, the food, we can carry up to about 180 days of food. That's the only limiting factor we have. We typically go underway with about 75 to 90 days of food, but for extended mission periods, we can pack a lot more in. You probably all know, you walk on it, you put the cans down on the deck and walking on the food, same thing. Some things don't change. Yeah.
Just let it know that the crew has to get to the Springs tonight. So let's make it a couple questions more and then we'll call it in.
Sure.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Here, we'll go here and then Jay.
So I'm not sure if the layout, but manning the bridge from the second level, that
Yeah,
is
it's a long climb.
Yeah. Are there letters right there? Or?
Yes. So if you go forward to the ship control, the SCS is what it's called. We're the pilot and co-pilot. We don't have the helm and plainsman. And those watches are manned by chiefs. Except if you're a Raja guy and you're a go-getter, you're a qualified pilot. And just forward of their station, it goes all the way up to the bridge. Now, on the first platform above there is a little kind of screw where you can kind of cut in and go up. So, yeah. Yeah, Jay, yeah.
Can you tell us the status throughout the fleet of bringing lady submariners
Hmm.
and when that order?
So every submarine is available to all to everyone. So there's 688s that have females. There's Seawolf class. It just there's just not enough women for every submarine to have an integrated crew. So Colorado is not integrated because we just don't have any women on board. It's not because we don't want them. It's not because there's a policy. So yeah, there's just much lower percentage of women in the submarine force. Yeah. Yeah, go. 1, 2. We'll do that. Is that okay? Yeah, go ahead.
Two periscopes you have,
2.
two periscopes still,
Yes.
periscopes, and one of them had
Both of them. So we have digital cameras in both of them, and one of them has an infrared camera. We could probably save about I don't know, how many terabytes of data can we save, Chief? What? Yeah. Yeah, go ahead.
This yes or no answer. Are there any adversarial navies today that can operate under ice, number one, or that compete with us, number two?
So to answer your first question, yes. The second question is a resounding no.
That's what I get to read.
Yeah.
Okay.
You want to call it?
Yes, let's
All right.
call it.
Hey, thanks a lot.
So appreciation for you guys showing up and giving a talk. We have a cup and a challenge coin for each one of the members. And
In exchange, we would also like to present you with a USS Colorado plaque for.
Yeah. Yeah, can we get some pictures?
You want to exchange? We'll do this and this.
yes,
It's just a photographer on the boat.
yeah.
Maybe you need to get that Polaroid from Alan.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Yeah, cheers. Thank you.
And there's a cup and a challenge coin for each one of the crew members over on our storekeeper's desk. Make sure that you grab it before you leave. Okay, just real quick before we break for coffee. Is what happened to Ellen? Grant, what happened to the gentleman sitting next to you?
He went out earlier. I haven't seen him.
Oh. Okay, the gentleman, John Evans, I believe his name was. He was on the destroyer tender for a while. But when he got out of the Navy, he was the one that furbished the torpedo for our memorial. And he's got something he wanted to present to us. It was a Jim Beam bottle. I don't even think you call it a bottle, in the shape of a USS grading submarine. It's about that big, it's sitting on the table. And I have no idea where he disappeared to because he said he was going to come in and give us a little talk. Okay, so birthdays for August, or excuse me, for September. We have Bill Gregory and Grant Day, but today is Robert and Marcia's anniversary. And for all of you that don't know, they were actually married right here in front of the podium 6 years ago. And Andy was
The officiant.
the official. The official. And so to celebrate that, they brought cake and they also have champagne. Okay. So, Marcia and Robert, would you two like to come up here and Andy?
So I'm the deputy warside chaplain for weddings and funerals. I married over 15. I married one. So here come Robert and Marcia. The story goes they met when they were 16, lost touch, and reconnected after 50 years.
49.
49. So
Round it off, Andy.
6 years ago, right here in that spot, we had a wedding ceremony
With my mom.
with his mom and aunt, and they made vows
Yes,
and they kept them.
we did.
For better and for worse. And so today we thank God for you.
Yes.
We rejoice with you and we ask God's blessing for 6 more.
Please.
And let's pray. Thank you, Lord, for 6 years of love and life. Give them health, strength, and positive attitudes. And now join us as we celebrate. Amen.
Real quick for the birthdays in September, Ray Zavar is the 3rd, Robert Adler, you're the 11th. Gene Mabel is the 21st, and Harry Noose, you're the 22nd. Do we have anybody volunteer for a cake for the next meeting? Anybody?
Put that on the record.
Okay. We'll have to work on it. Okay, Cal, all right, Cal volunteered. Okay, let's take a break for coffee and cake and champagne. Okay, the next thing we're gonna be talking about is the Southern Colorado Bases Memorial Ceremony. Let's have everybody's attention, please. That's this Saturday at 10 o'clock. It's gonna be held at the Veterans Memorial Park that they have in Colorado Springs. I've seen some pictures. It's pretty impressive. Who is going to be attending this memorial on Saturday? We have Bruce. Oh, JJ, just yourself or your wife? Okay. Patrick and Elaine, both of you, or just Patrick? So and we have Dale and Tammy, Julie and myself, Grant and Martha, Bruce, Patrick, and JJ and Lynn. Lawrence. Okay, if you want to carpool, we're gonna meet down at Cabela's off of exit 192 on Interstate 25. We should be leaving there right around 8:15 for us to be able to make it down to Colorado Springs by 10 o'clock. Okay, so if you're going to be coming, let me count this again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. So there's 10 of us total. Okay, the way to get a JJ.
10 or 11?
10 o'clock is when the ceremony starts. 11 o'clock is their picnic potluck. Okay, the best way to get down there, if you're traveling by yourself, is to go all the way down to exit 1 39. Get off of, on US 24. Take the very first exit, which is Union Street. Turn left and then follow Union Street. You'll end up right there at the memorial. It's a large. How many saw the email I sent out where it had the pictures and everything? So that large tower thing is the memorial for all veterans. And then around the park, they have 22, 24 separate plaques and stuff for each one of the services. And I think number 22 is Submarine plaque. If you're not going to do carpool, the traffic on I-25, especially between Castle Rock and Colorado Springs, is really horrendous.
We
So,
next Saturday for meeting with the crew. It wasn't that bad. I mean, it was about an hour 20, an hour 30 from where we live in Lafayette. Get to the northern end of
the Springs.
Springs and 148. So that's another 10 miles.
Okay, so
The Renaissance Festival's over, so it shouldn't be too
okay. And so what they do afterwards is they have themselves a potluck picnic. They're a very small group. They only have about 20 members total between the Springs and Pueblo. And they alternate their meetings. 1 week's in the spring, 1 week's in Pueblo, or month is in Pueblo. They usually get about 6 or 7 people showing up at their meetings. And so they have a big potluck afterwards. You can't barbecue in the whole park because I think they're worried about that fire that was in the Woodlands Park area 2-3 years ago. So they're bringing chicken. Let's see, I got it here somewhere. Oh, here it is. So they have baked chicken. Also, they don't have any tables and chairs. So if you bring a chair, you need to bring a chair. I'm going to bring a 6-foot table. Tammy's going to bring a 6-foot table. They have 2 other members that are bringing tables. They're supplying the fried and baked chicken, coleslaw, baked green beans, a cake, deviled eggs, broccoli salad, and peanut butter brownies. So that's what they already have set up. So we need to bring a side dish or a dessert. Now, they're probably going to have about 10 people. We have 10 people. They also have the Junior Marine ROTC that does the honor guard. They'll probably be there. And there will be crew members from the USS Colorado. So that gives you an idea that we're probably talking about 25, 30, maybe 30 people. Okay. Any questions? Helen?
Questions at Blackhawk? Springs this weekend.
Okay. And then set out at the air bases down there?
Should be probably there.
Oh, at the airport, okay. Okay, the next topic is our memorial ceremony, September 7th, 1100. This is the last meeting before we have our annual ceremony. So how many here are on next door? Look at next door. Okay, I sent out flyers to everybody. I'll send them out again. I'd like everybody here that gets on next door, go ahead and put a flyer up onto it, letting people know about it. So, for some of you know that I was the president of the United of Colorado Association, and we still maintain that database of about 80 people in Colorado. One of those members has a big database that he maintains for Coast Guard people in Colorado, and he also does the Vietnam Veterans Association for Colorado. He's going to send all of our flyers out to all those people. I also sent it out to my brother, and him and his family are coming. So We have the technology for people to send it out to your family, your friends, flyers. How many people here still has the email with a copy of the flyer on it about the memorial? Good. I'll send it out again, but please, people, we want to try to get as many people as we possibly can. Let's give you an update on the flagpole. The flagpole will not be available for our memorial. It is being shipped on the 20th of September. So it'll probably take a few days to get here. And then they're all set, probably late September, early October to install our new flagpole. Honor bell, it looks like we're going to have it available. Yes, to verify that when we get close. Larry, you're all set up with your respective chiefs, or does that come out in another week or so? Okay, they're running late or about normal?
Yes.
Okay. Chair, is Bruce doing that? Sea cadets. I wanted to ask you, Bruce, are they a particular sea cadets? Because we had 2 contacts for sea cadets. Are they sea cadets of something?
She's the one above both of us.
Can you find that out? Because I'd like to put it in our support of our program. And the Daughters of the American Revolution, they're showing up also.
Yes, they should have coffee and goodies and water.
Programs, I'll go ahead and print out the programs. I have a place up close by my house. Dale Grant Trailer Sound System tents. You're planning on getting there, what, about 9:30 or 8:30 to 9? So what we need to do is we need a cleanup. The week of Saturday before the memorial is August 31st. How many people will be able, you need to trim the grass, pick up trash, paint as needed, and clean plaques as needed? Who will be able to support that? Dennis? Ooh, all right, 1, 2, 3, the 31st of August. And are people interested in doing breakfast before we go to the memorial? Yes, no? Nobody of opinion. Okay, let's meet at the memorial at 10 o'clock. What?
Before the memorial or before the cleanup?
Before the cleanup. Anybody interested in a breakfast before the cleanup? Larry, looks like you and me.
I'll be there.
You'll be there?
No. You're fine, I'll be there.
No.
What time?
Clean up.
All right, who stole my pen? Oh, there it is. So, if you want to do breakfast, 0900, thank you, for breakfast at McCoy's, meet at the memorial around 10:30. So 10:30 if you're not going to do breakfast at the memorial, 9 o'clock if you want to do breakfast at McCoy's. Bruce. We do. He's all lined up, ready to go. Same from guy last year. Impressive. Okay, good. So we had about 6 or 7 people set up for that. Cammy, can you guys bring that white paint? Did you guys pick up the leftover white paint that we used to paint the bottom half of the memorial? Okay. Make sure that Dale brings that. Have I missed anything? Anybody got anything out? Cal?
Is the meeting here in 1 month?
You mean September's meeting?
Yeah, or is it on a Saturday?
Oh, that, I'll talk about that in a minute about the Saturday meetings. But yes, our next meeting is September 4th, what is it, 11th?
11.
The 11th.
I just needed to know so I could bring the cake.
Okay, yes. Dick is going to be doing the presentation of Vietnam War through a periscope on the 11th of September. Yes, Dennis.
We need, found a couple names to put on the flyer for doing the wreath
Okay, I do have both of the wreath bearers. I'm gonna put them into the program. It is, Lane Kraus. Raise your hand up there. She's doing the USSVI. And Teresa Perello. You know who Teresa Perello is? This is, Richard's sidekick. She's really excited. Good. Yes, so Teresa is, 97 years young. And she is, her husband, her deceased husband, was a World War II Army veteran. Correct. And her father was a World War One veteran, one of the first to return home from World War One. Quite a history. Yes, she's got quite a military history. When I discussed with her at the picnic about her being the wreath bearer for World War II veterans, she was really, really excited, and she just said she wasn't going to get a wink of sleep that night because she was so excited. And so I got to talking with the executive board members, and we decided to make her an honorary associate member, which the base will pay for her membership to nationals. Okay? And Richard, if you'd like to let her know that, so that she'll know before we have her memorial. Okay, great. Okay, Western Roundup dates, 6th and 9th of 2025. Going to be on the Queen Mary in Long Beach. And I just received something in the mail about them needing donations. What they're asking is each one of the 20 some odd bases that are associated with the Western Roundup, they're asking for a $50 donation to the Western Roundup, and the whole purpose of it is to defer some of the costs for rooms and stuff like that for members that are attending. Does anybody have any discussion about us doing a $50 donation? Yes, no? I move to make it so. We have a move and a second. Any opposed? Okay, I guess it carries.
Website.
I got it all right here, the letter and the flyer. Okay. Oh, April? March 6th to the 9th. I plan on going, Julie and I both, Tammy and Dale are definitely going. Jack Rolls, have anybody seen or talked to Jack? Huh?
Who's at our house the other day, who's going?
Okay, good. Is there a reason why you missed the last 3 meetings?
This meeting here, see that family stuff that had to go back to the Nebraska, and this today, they left today, go to another wedding.
Okay, okay. I was just hoping there wasn't anything serious. Okay, okay, the next thing here is, I got a phone call on Monday last week. No, it was Wednesday last week. From a project, the City of Denver project manager that oversees the Sloan Lake area. And they have a project in the works where they may be moving our memorial. And so if you all remember that brown building that's sitting over on the side, they're going to turn that over into their maintenance headquarters with office spaces and stuff like that. Then they're going to build a new maintenance shed, a couple wash bays, a large area fenced in for storage of maintenance equipment and stuff like that. And they came up with 4 options. And he emailed all 4 of those to me. We sit and talked over them with the executive board, and 2 of them are really shit options. They move our memorial closer to the lake on the backside where that brown building is right now. And in one of them, they don't even have any roads going to it. You have to walk a distance to get to it. And then 2 of them are not bad at all, or one of them is the better, and it's all former. I sent all that information back to him the next day, Monday morning. And he thanked us for our input, and then he told us, I told him we wanted to be involved in any kind of meetings, public meetings. He said he would give us the schedule as soon as they have it pinned down. And he says there's multiple entities that are concerned with this construction project. And so those are scheduled to break ground February, April of next year. So they're going to be making a decision here within the next 3 or 4 months. I guess the money's already allotted, ready to go. So I don't really know the outcome. Basically, he told me he can't guarantee anything. We'll just have to see what happens. So, Bruce, I would like to know if you want to head honcho look at that, keep that going, because I know you've been in contact with them several times on the movement of. And that was another reason why I wanted to trade to get all those historical documents, was because I want to see what kind of agreement we have with the city of Denver. I've been trying to get in touch with Trey and Terry, and it appears that Trey has been having some major health issues. And so he's been in and out of the hospital for the last couple weeks and months. And so that's the reason why we haven't seen any of them at the meeting. So I've offered help, and so is Tammy. We just don't know if they're should ask for it. Okay, but if anybody has any questions, I have all of the options right here if you want to look and see what they are. Yeah, Bill.
Most of don't have background. When I was based in Anchor here, the city came to us and wanted to move the memorial to Washington Park. And at that time, they expected us that we were going to pay to move. And the discussions I had with them at that time said, ain't no way. And we kicked around for a while, and finally it just kind of dropped by the wayside at that point. But that's what happened earlier on. Now, the memorial was originally installed back in 1976.
76.
But I don't know what dedication or allowance there was for using that area. But at that time, it was set up that way. And it'll be interesting what goes on.
So I specifically talked to him. The very first question I had was, who's going to pay for moving the memorial? And they said they are. And the reason he was calling me was because he said that if they moved the memorial, he wanted to know if we would have some kind of ceremony for the closing down of the old one, and maybe a ceremony for opening the new one up. And I said, sure, that would be nice, but I told him later that we didn't like either one of the options for moving it, so we'll see how it goes from there. If I talked it over with, I forgot who it was. I think it might have been the executive board. If they move the memorial, I'm going to propose we do a tolling of the crew members of the railing as a ceremony for closing down the old and opening the new. But that's in the future, so we'll have to see where that goes.
The other thing that Paul designated when he sent this to the state that or to the town was that if they leave, we had two options that did not move the memorial from where it's at, and actually gave us better parking and better access to the memorial. And we said if you use these two options, that then they could take the money that was allocated for moving the thing and use that to enhance their other building project. So we're playing the money game with them too, saying, you'll have more money to do what you really want to do, just leave us alone. And so we'll see what transpires with that.
Okay, the next thing I need to talk about is, we voted on and decided that we were gonna do Saturday meetings, starting in the month of October. When we first approached the base, or the post, Cassie, who's the manager, said that, he said, sure, no problem, and then came back a month later and said, that the base or the post was not particularly interested in that because then that one day, out of the month, they wouldn't be able to rent out the home. So then I got back with her and started talking with her about, well, how much do they charge? You guys make money off the food that you sell to us. And she says, well, I'm sure we can make some kind of arrangement or deal. But the biggest drawback she has is the fact that she doesn't have a cook. Everybody that's been help doing these meals and stuff are all volunteers. And they have a new volunteers each time. And that's why sometimes it takes forever to get your food, and sometimes it looks real nice, and sometimes it doesn't look so nice. So the biggest issue is some kind of steady employee. And so she and several of the post members are on a vacation right now in Alaska. When she comes back, her number one priority is to find a cook, a permanent cook, so that she really wants us to be able to do Saturday meetings. And she's going to try her damnedest to get that, make that happen. And so we're still up in the air. Bill.
As a past base commander here, one of the longest members of this base currently present, I'd like to voice an opinion. Also, as the oldest person here, my ability to extemporaneously speak is somewhat limited, so I'm going to read this. Previously in the past, we lost this room for our Wednesday night meetings and were forced to hold them in the bar area here for a few months because a larger group took this room. It was through a lot of discussions and support from our members, who were also Legion members here, that we finally got this room back. If we give up this particular night in this room, we quite possibly might not get it back after our Saturday morning experiment. I know that although a Saturday morning meeting might be acceptable to a couple of members, the question is whether it would continue to get the same total number of members attendees as we currently are getting on Wednesday, as some members may not be willing to give up in part of their weekend. Currently, our handout meeting cards do not explain or show this change, and therefore would need to be redone to be available for handout to prospective new members, and also may prove to be very confusing. For these reasons, I would like the base to seriously reconsider the ramifications of a major change to our meeting schedule and what it might have on the future of this base.
Okay, I fully understood that. And we don't want to lose what we have. All we have is the best thing you can do for life. I know that some of the other posts charge an exorbitant amount of prices for using this hall. We're using their hall and the food and stuff. Unquestionably, we do not want to lose it. But if you remember, we did a vote on Saturday meetings, and we had a 95% people wanted to do Saturday meetings. And I was also approached by 2 or 3 individuals that said, hey, if you do Saturday meetings, I'll start coming to the meetings. Because they're at the age where they can't drive at night, especially in the winter when it gets nasty outside. So I'm fully aware we do not want to lose this opportunity here at the post. But I'm also fully aware that we need to do some changes to make sure we have a viable membership that attends the meeting. So all I'm saying is it's still in the works. Cal.
Has she manager in Alaska indicated to you that, is she willing to give you give up the trial period, say, or 3 or 4 months, when you're actually in the winter, and if it doesn't pan out, that we could then come back here that way, or like the previous commander said, is that door permanently shut?
I agree. I talked it over with her. I explained to her that, hey, you do not want to lose this. And she was very much would like to do during the winter months, have it on Saturdays, during the summer months, have it on Wednesdays. That was the goal. But like I said, it's all depending on employment, employees, and all that kind of stuff. So I'm just letting you know that it's not dead. It's still being discussed. And we understand the ramifications of both ways. Okay, minutes. Is there any changes to the minutes as posted in our newsletter? Then they are accepted as is. Grant, Treasury report. Gotta make it short.
Make it short.
Short, please.
We got money.
All right.
Good job. Okay, right now, we've got a project that's in the works on a trailer. We're replacing the tires. It seems the tires on that trailer are 23 years old. Still in decent shape, but 23 years old. As you know, there's no cracks in the tires, but we're just a little preventative maintenance. You remember that, you know? Yeah. So, anyhow, we forwarded our invoice to National for them to pay them directly. I guess I understand the tires are in. So the best thing we can do is coordinate with them to find out that they've got the payment and then take the trailer down and get her done. Okay. So still follow up with them, you know. Yeah. So anyhow, as of the end of July, we still have $2,008 in our memorial fund at National. And we have our Caps for Kids program, which we do need a chairman for the Caps for Kids so that we can get that program back online again. It's been off for almost a year now. We have $5,793.99 in that account in the charitable foundation. So keep in mind, if you want to make donations to the Memorial Fund or to the Caps for Kids Fund, they go directly to the USSVI Charitable Foundation. You know, you can put them in, just make sure you say it's for the Rocky Mountain Base, whichever fund you want, and then it'll go to these two accounts directly. Those are tax deductible. If you make a donation to the base here, then they are not tax deductible. We are a 501c3 or C19 charitable organization, but the USSVCF is a 501c3. Okay, so that it's totally tax deductible. Okay, if you want the full report, you know, you can come up, take a look at it here, as well as earlier months. So we're doing fine.
Okay, for those of you that have attended a parade, you saw what kind of condition the World War II flag was. Since Tammy got this fixed, so we got it on, it's on both sides. And
See it coming or going.
it looks pretty good. So we flanked the World War II flag. We also have the QR code banner that mounts on the side of the trailer. That's been acquired and used. And so, good deal, Tammy. Now, calendars for next year. If you want to sign up for them. Last year we ended up with several extras because people said, "Oh yeah, I'll take it," and then they never.
We're not gonna do that this year. You don't sign up, you don't-
Now you get to sign up, you'll get one. If you don't sign up, you don't get one. Okay. Anything else, Tammy? I think that's
I think that's it.
okay. Patrick, you got anything about the website?
That bit of the Holland company, so Holland company one.
Okay, now you do know that you can modify that thing, put all sorts of goodies on there, whatever you will feel necessary, or you feel would be snazz it up or something like that.
Yeah.
Go for it.
I'm also thinking like all the emails and announcements, we put those on the website. With a main homepage there, you know, that.
Okay, and if you have anything that you want to be added to the website, just contact Patrick. Remember, we're looking for new caps for kids. We did get a little bit of a good news that if you remember Kathy Inona and John Inona are the ones that were doing the caps for kids, are really excited about it. Then they had some major health and family problems. They both dropped out, but they both want to return. So hopefully in the next 6 months or so, we may get them back along with John Marinucci. So hopefully. Okay. Bingo. Colorado State Veterans Home, 1919 North Clinton Street. It is August the 21st at 10:00. How many people are going to be there?
And I have $200 and $2 bills.
Grace.
No, I'm gonna be there.
Oh, okay. Such a waving. Okay. The same people. Okay, Buffalo Days. The parade went pretty good. It was a real pain in the ass to get the damn thing up off the ground. The parking's just horrendous there. You have to pay for parking or get a ticket like Larry did. Yeah, it's so. Well, we did get two possible people that one was a lady that said her son gets out of the Navy in February next year. And she took pictures of the QR code and sent that to him and all sorts of stuff. So hopefully we can get him. And what's the guy that we saw at the yard house?
Well, he came up at, while we're staging,
Okay.
and then he was also there.
So did he take it? He got cards and everything? Okay. It just matters whether he actually happens or not.
I ended up first thing first.
Did you? Okay, so now that we know all the ins and outs, it is a pain, but it was something we could work through. I know that Dale does not, they did it. Yes, he was. Yes, he was.
What they said they were gonna.
No, they did not.
And he never returned an email from me.
Oh, okay. Okay, we were talking about Winter Harvest Day. It's September 2nd. And we decided that it's too close to the memorial ceremony to be trying to load up on too much stuff at once.
And they were cheap.
Actually, that was Louisville Labor Day parade.
On the 4th,
Yeah,
well, wasn't a Windsor on the 2nd?
Yeah,
August 2nd.
Oh,
I had, no, I was wrong. Yeah, you're right.
okay.
September 2nd.
and then if you get-
Yeah.
It's $10 penalty.
Well,
Yeah,
you're not even taking, they're full. It's like Jack.
okay.
So we should get penalties of $10.
No, but they're not even accepting any entries if they filled up.
Okay, so the final parade we're gonna have for the year is September 21st. It's the Frederick Parade. And then what's it called, Miners Day or Miners Day? And if you get there early enough, Tammy will be cooking breakfast. No, not really. But we will be meeting at their house. Their house is actually the start of the parade. And it works out really great because they have a huge place for parking and stuff like that. As long as the construction people aren't in the way, right?
Well, it's Saturday, so they should.
Okay, good deal. Okay, we talked about the memorial and the update on the flagpole. We also talked about the float. We are replacing the tires, which it's actually National is going to be paying for those, right? So that's all set up. We're trying to work out the deal where we can raise and lower the boat with a series of scissor-like action things, and our first trial was a failure. It wouldn't support the weight, so now we've beefed up the stuff and we're going to give it another try. And the basic reason why we're doing this is because it takes 6 able-bodied people to be able to pick that boat up and put it on its rack, and we're getting to the point where we don't have 6 able-bodied people. Robert.
The first part of this year, the living rock on me, and hopefully that is resolved. My surgery weeks ago went tremendously. I'm hoping to get back when we get back to go to September. Hope to get back on the route. You might be able to help. Andy do to get back to building the this is called rental model. Got the pieces in the garage. Obviously, I just have not been able to do it for him, but I hope to get back to it and get that boat finished before Christmas.
Okay, so make sure you let me know. I'll put out an email to get all volunteers to come out. Same when we're getting ready to work our little scissor action thing that Rand will let me know. We'll send out an email and see if we can get people to show up and give a hand.
Colorado model. It's going to be a lot lighter than the
Yes, yes. Yes.
I think Mr. Evans back in back.
Oh, yes, Mr. Evans. No, that's Harry.
Oh, that's Harry. I'm sorry. It looked like.
So is that boat right there, that little bottle thing?
No, nothing.
You took it?
He took it with him.
Oh, that's nice.
It's in the back.
What's in the bag?
Both different bottle frame.
Oh,
Yeah.
this is the legitimate bean bottle, and it was presented by the World War II veterans.
Now the bottom is Ski Country Submarine, Golden, Colorado, and then Submarine Veterans, World War II.
Okay. You might want to put it out on the internal patrol beach. Okay, thanks. Okay, social. It's a little early, but we're going to do another Saturday luncheon in November. We've got 4 different areas picked out. Prost Brewery, which is German food and beer. Lazy Dog Restaurant, which is a good-sized menu. Arvada's Italian, and the Hofbrau Pizza, which has pizzas and burgers. So think about which one sounds the best. We'll be talking. So we're 3 months away, so I'm a little early at it, so I just want to let people know. We don't have any additional Colorado updates. We took care of everything, which is pretty interesting. 8-hour watches, I just have a hard time comprehending.
Yeah.
I'm starved to death. Okay, it does appear that we are going to have, I already told you, the Otter Bell is up and running, so we should have it at the memorial. I talked about, good of the order, I talked about the QR banner, World War II digger flag. There is a Kings Bay World War II memorial ceremony from October 23rd to the 27th. And I sent out an email about it a while back, so this is just to give you a heads up. Yeah.
Yeah, my Daniel Webster crew, had our reunion in conjunction with that down in Kings Bay last year, and it was really good.
Okay.
Yeah, we got
Our reunions too, and yeah, it's a.
Yeah, we got a tour of the Rhode Island Ohio class boat too, so that was well.
Okay. And we talked about Teresa. Hey, remember,
CEO's name, but yeah. Nice.
I have cards here up on the table. Get yourself cards to hand out. You put your name and your number on the back or email or something, then we can hopefully drag some more people. That's CJ made it finally. And I think I found you on LinkedIn, didn't I, or something like that?
Somebody was driving past my wife and saw the little Submarine decals on the back of the car.
Oh.
And stopped to talk to her. And she gave me my email.
Oh. Well, good deal. I'm glad you made it. Okay. Anybody have anything else for good of the order? Mr. Dick.
Are you registered and coming back to our rodeo summer?
I believe so.
Here's the ground.
Sounds good. Especially if you're buying for us again. Yes.
Give it to them.
Give who to Dan?
Document.
Oh, I got his name right here and I forgot. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Jeff, you have something real quick?
Yeah, newsletter, if anybody has any input for it, please get it to me, hopefully within a week to 10 days, because my next month is going to be pretty busy, and I'd like to get it out sooner rather than later. I did. Well, from last month I did, yeah. Thank you. All right, thank you.
Okay, so if those of you remember about, what was it, 4 months ago or so, we voted on Dan Ballard being our Rocky Mountain Base ambassador for the USSVI Charitable Foundation. And they have a presentation here. It says, this document certifies that Dan Ballard of Rocky Mountain Base has completed the requirements for qualification as a base ambassador for the United States Submarine Veterans Charitable Foundation. And, oh, there you are. There you go.
Look at this. There we go. All right, cool.
Hey. And if you remember, some of the things he talked about was that they have a very large charitable foundation that if you know of a submarine veteran who's having a hard time financially, they can, what did you say, it was up to $2,000?
Yeah, Brotherhood Group.
Called Brotherhood Group.
Foundation.
Fund, and they can award $2,000 just based on the situation, just reading about it and figuring it out. So if you know anybody that needs help, contact Dan. And here is that. And I gave a little card, put it all into. Okay, thanks, Robert, for reminding me. Okay, anybody else got anything to get in the order?
Held out for the community living center, sitting with pile in the live stuff. Where kids can find it, so that you go to the legislation, was the number one senior living facility involved.
And it was voted last year number 4 in the nation. So it's an impressive place.
That's where we have bingo.
That's where we have bingo every night, or every once a month. You ready for the? Okay, now I'm into the slide and crank on one. Oh, I missed it. 50-50. It's been a long night.
I mean, probably the one thing is my whole life. See?
953. Jim. Engage. Now. Little down was quiet and tranquil life that we know in the deep and return to reality is here. All right.
Oh, that's fine. We're going to thank you for the meeting tonight for bringing the USS Colorado crew here for us to get to know a little bit better. We just asked that you would watch over them and take care of them and give them safe missions and successful missions and also keep them safe. We thank you for our meeting tonight and for the anniversary we got to celebrate for Robert and Marcia. We just ask your wisdom and all the decisions that we have to make in the coming months. And we just ask for that you would help us make wise choices and make the right decisions. We just lift up our young men and women that are fighting in our military services for the freedom of this country. We just ask that you keep them safe as many of them are in harm's way. Give our elected officials wisdom, and we just ask that you would bless the United States of America, and may God bless everybody here. Amen.
Okay, entertaining a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
We have motion second. We're so adjourned.